Hi, this is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. I am thrilled to be here with you on this beautiful Wednesday morning, or Wednesday night, or whatever it is where you're at, because we actually have a guest on who it's evening where she's at today. We have the founder and creator of MommyGo. If you haven't heard about it, you're going to love what we have to say this morning. But we have a powerhouse extraordinaire on for an interview this morning. Elena Ledoux, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. So happy to see you again.
I am so happy to see you. You are one of my favorite people on the planet because I love you, like your personality, and I love your go-getterness. But I tell you, you have rocked, again, I will say, the business world because you just don't believe there's nothing possible. Like, you just believe in anything is possible.
I'm just very, no, I actually don't even think if it's possible or not. I think if I stop and thought about it, I'd be a lot smarter and more cautious. But because I don't think about it, then that leads me to a lot of decisions that maybe a smarter people wouldn't take on.
I'm going to say you might say that, but I will say that, you've made some pretty amazing decisions, and whatever is not working the first time, you make it work. Like you go back in, you're so humble, and you do things that are so, I just admire you so much because you do not back up from something that's hard. You had an idea of something that was amazing. Tell us where you got the idea for MommyGo, and tell us what it is.
Sure. MommyGo is a natural energy shot for moms. And the way I came up with it is I used to be an attorney. I'm still an attorney, but I'm not practicing anymore. And I love law, and I would give it my all. And I would spend all day working and kind of using up my brain power in that. And I work long hours. And I was really good at it, actually, now that I'm thinking back to it. But by the time you get home, your brain is spent, right? You spend all these hours giving the energy to the clients, right, and to your coworkers. And then you come home and it's like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And that's when your family is like, okay, finally you're here, be with us, play, let's read, let's do this. And I'll be like, I can't. And even my friends too, like, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I can't. And it just so happened that my friends at that time were also, a lot of them were single. So, like, in between the marriages. So they all wanted to go out and spend time with me and do things. And I could barely, I was barely alive after my work. And so I was like, okay. And of course, my husband, he's just like an athlete. So he said, all you have to do is just go to the gym. And I was like, I'm not the gym person. I tried, and I still keep trying, but it's like, it's not realistic at 7 p.m., after a full day of working as an attorney to go to the gym, like drive out for half an hour, spend an hour, then take a shower, drive back, like by the time you get back, it's going to be 10, 11 p.m., right? And then what? So that's my excuse anyway. So I started just looking for ways to kind of boost my energy levels towards the end of the day. So obviously, I remembered that Red Bull would help me to carry me through that. I had to fly into Hawaii from New Jersey and take the bar exam, so, and I was out of it, but with Red Bull, I was like jolted awake. And I don't recommend it. I took like 2 Red Bulls back to back, and I passed the bar exam from the first go. But then I was like dead afterwards, right? And so I was like, oh, I should just try that, just energy drinks, right? They give me energy. So I just drank it. And then my family was like, what are you drinking? So I started like looking at it and looking it up and researching what it is. And I was like, yeah, like now I'm scared after I looked up all the ingredients for all the energy drinks. And I said, well, surely there's something that's more natural, or at least looks more natural, so I feel better about thinking it, right? So I went through Whole Foods, the Sprouts, online. I did a lot of research, and I was trying to find something that someone like me can drink, and I'm not one of those people who are like fanatical about healthy living, right? Who just like everything has to be, made with the tears of the virgins from like Nepalese, peasants or something like that. It's just like be reasonably healthy, but I couldn't find even for my level, nothing. So it was either Red Bull, 5-hour energy, or nothing, right? And so I was very surprised. And the way it was marketed is very like masculine. It was not for me. It was like black and red colors. It was all like, be a rock star, be a monster, be like the bull, right? There's nothing like, be a mom, like be awake, be like loving towards your family, do career, do your like personal endeavors, hobbies, paint. And there's nothing like that. It was like climb the mountains, drive a truck, so it was like, I felt like I was left out, right? So without that help, I felt like at some point I had to choose which one is more important for me, whether it's my career or my kids and my husband, right, my family. And at that time, I decided that my family was more important, which of course in the back of my mind, I always knew, but I was really clinging on to the idea that I want to have it all, right? So, and I think we all have that general idea, but at some point, there's only one me. And so if I'm not good at balancing. I'm like, I'm all in, and the work scheduled first, right? It's good scheduled before family time. It's not like you get to spend 5 hours with your family and then with whatever left over, you go to work. It's not like it's the other way. So I would just give it my all, and I couldn't do it halfway. I couldn't like save myself. And then I have nothing left by the time it's time for me and my family. So I took a sabbatical, and I was a full-time mom for a couple of years. We actually lived in Europe. We took my husband and I and both of our kids, and we even brought my parents and our friends, for parts of the journey. So it was like a trip of a lifetime, I highly recommend it. And I loved being full-time mom, right? I was like, okay, it's great. But at some point I was like, I became like a little bit restless, and I was thinking like, oh, it's great being a mom, but I feel like I'm not realizing my full potential. And because I'm an immigrant, that's a big deal to me. I feel like I'm in the land of opportunity. I have to give it my all. I owe it to all the people who have no opportunity. So I just could not waste it. And my kids cannot relate. They're born here, so like, okay, what are you talking about? But I really treasure what this country provides, that you can literally be anything. So I felt really badly that if I spend the rest of my life just basically chilling and cooking dinner and, which is fine too, but I just wasn't there yet. And I felt like it would be a waste if I just cut myself short and just like throw it away. So I was thinking, well, actually by that time, my best childhood friend immigrated to US, and I helped her start a business, a cleaning business. And that kind of blew up, and I thought it's going to be like a little side project. And that became a really large company and very, very busy. So all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm spent again. I'm coming home after work. And actually I was working from home, but I was like out of it. And by the time I'm done with business, and business is like 24/7. You don't have you can't even turn it off. It's always on. And the business is doing well, but I started getting into that conflict zone again between my family time, my husband and my kids were asking me to put them on the calendar, so I was like, okay, that sounds very familiar. And so I went back again. I explored the gym option again. And then I went back looking for the supplements or something to boost my energy level. And I thought, surely by now, years later, it's been like, I think about 5 or 6 years later, right? Which in the food industry, I think that's a lot of years, right? Because there's always some kind of invention. And so I thought, okay, I'm sure they'll have something by now for me, not for like a truck driver, not for like an athlete, a super athlete, but just for like a regular person, who doesn't want to shoot their liver, who just wants to be a little bit aware and not so dead, like brain dead. I went back to the store. I went to Whole, and sure enough, there's like nothing again. Like nothing. Oh, there's like one product, which I won't name the names, but had a really pretty packaging, but when I bought it, and I was so excited, I was drinking it, and it actually smelled and tasted like gasoline. And I thought, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe like there's something wrong with me. So I started like torturing my family, like making them drink it and smell. And they're all like, we're completely like, no, you're not crazy. This is actually horrible. And then I thought, okay, I think I was driving somewhere and I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, which is How I Built This. And they're talking about 5-hour energy creator, how he was like a monk, and he was not a food scientist. He was not like entrepreneur. He's nothing. And he didn't even invent 5-hour energy. He just like kind of threw a bunch of ingredients together from a product that he saw with, someone else's products. And so he just copied it, right? And it became a mega success. And I thought, I guess since I am having a successful company now, service company, I'm an entrepreneur now. So if that guy could do it, maybe, I wonder if I could do it, that would be interesting, right? So, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. Sometimes you get this idea and just like sticks. And I get ideas all the time, but this idea, I just couldn't get over it because I need that product, and I couldn't believe that nobody came up with it, right? So there's no, and moms is such a huge category of people, right? There's just moms and grandmas. You have a lot of people marketing all kinds of stuff to us. There's makeup, there's nutrition, there's all of this, there's clothes, right? But why no energy? Energy is what we need the most, I think, to do everything else.
Yeah.
And there's always, there's always jokes.
So transparent though about like the why behind it, because you needed that product and other moms need that product, so you just created that product. I think that's the most adorable part about you to me, is that if it's not there, you'll find it. Like you'll find a way to have it.
Yes, because otherwise I have to choose again. What do I do? Do I just give up on on my kids? Do I just drop my husband off my calendar? Do I give up do I give up my business? And it's, I feel like my grandma, she kind of gave up her own personal potential to take care of to raise my mom and her siblings. She had 10 kids, right? My mom gave up she was a scientist, so she was a chemist. She gave up her career to raise me and my brother, right? And so it'd be very, very sad if, of course that's the right thing to do if you had to choose between your family or anything else, family goes first. But it's extremely sad to me. It would be really disappointing if I had to give up my personal potential for my kids. If I had to do it, I'd do it, but I will explore every other option before I had to make that choice, right? So
out there are like that. Like they're afraid to be honest. Like you're not afraid to be transparent. And there's a lot of moms out there that, desire to have both. They want to do extremely well for their children, but they also don't want to lose themselves in the process. And entrepreneurs, I think that's a really hard place. We need lots of energy. We need lots of energy when we have a family, because you're right, it's backwards most of the time. We work and then we come home with leftovers for our family, and that's not what a mom wants to do. That's not their heart's desire.
Right. And you want to also, by the time you get to your family, you want to fully engage with them, be present. You don't want it to be a zombie. Yes, I'm physically here, but actually my brain is completely shot. And, I'm doing my best. And, maybe I'll drink some wine to relax or something. I don't drink alcohol. Maybe that's part of the problem, right? I just don't drink. So I have to look for something else, right? And, I don't know if my kids would actually appreciate me drunk or even slightly intoxicated either. So that wouldn't work. They don't like that kind of thing. So it's a necessity. I'm a survivor. That's my only, really, truly, strong quality. I'm good at surviving. So if I had to survive this, to be able to run my business, be there for my employees, be there for my partner, and at the same time be there for my family, and I have a lot of friends, and I have pretty sizable family as well. So, and they're not, my family members are very demanding. They're not like, they're not going to shrink, you know, and just like pretend that they're not there. They want my time and my attention too, right? Just like my employees do. So something has to give. And I was thinking, it's not like I was working in the mines all day and I'm just physically dead. It's more like mentally. I'm just, I feel very sleepy and tired, right? And I tried meditation. Meditation actually does help a lot, but I just needed just a little bit more of like being aware and alert. And I wanted that magical effect of the Red Bull and the 5-hour energy, but without detriments to my health and without that crashing effect afterwards, right? And without the guilt factor. So it doesn't help me if I have to think like, oh my God, what am I doing to myself?
Yes.
So, you know, like I actually was looking for a food scientist, like a natural food scientist. And when I found her, she told me like, oh, you know, I will help you. And she's awesome. And her name is Elise Peterson. She has her own tea sourcing company. She goes around the world to like the most remote villages and she sources the best tea in the world, right? So and she's based in Las Vegas. She's also from Hawaii. And so she's telling me, I will help you, but I got to warn you, I'm going to talk you into tea. And I said, what do you mean tea? And I drink tea anyways. And so tea for me is relaxing. And yes, I do come back to life. If, for example, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, I drink tea and I feel like, oh, okay, now I can breathe, you know, I can relax. And so I was like, tea is relaxing to me. How would it give me energy? It's not what I'm asking for. And she said, there's the type of tea that will have that effect that you want. And so she sat me down. It's like she has like this den, like a tea room, right? It's dark, it's comfortable. There's a huge like special tea table. And so she mixed up like, she has all these like little paraphernalia for tea. So she mixed it up and she kind of, as we talk, like she's, okay, try this, drink this. And as we talk, I'm like, well, I don't feel anything. And then I feel fully, it was an afternoon. And usually by that time, when my energy level starts going down. And actually, I felt awake. I didn't feel the jolt, but I definitely didn't feel tired. And I went home and I was like very productive. I could work on things. I can talk to people. I could talk to my family. And that was very fascinating for me. So then I thought maybe it's just, it's like a placebo effect. I'm telling myself, right, for something. So I started like mixing that matcha that she gave me. And I was giving it to my friends and family. Okay, here, drink this. What do you think? What do you think? And so people were coming back with the reports that it works on them as well. But what I noticed that, first of all, a lot of people don't know what matcha is or don't care to know. Or they think it's like a fancy, like hipster thing, right? So it's just, it tastes good. So people add it for flavor, right? It's not so much known for health. But actually, it's a ground up tea leaf. So all the things that green tea is known for, as like rich in antioxidants and all these things, it's actually concentrated in a concentrated form, right? So when you drink that, it's in a powder. You're absorbing all these good elements, and it has much more powerful effect than just a regular green tea, where you just throw away the leaf. So you're consuming the leaf. So people were coming back to me saying, okay, it works, it's great. And people are saying, some people are saying, you know, I love matcha, that's all I drink. And then other people are like, what is matcha? You know, I don't know what matcha is. It looks green, it looks like a juice, you know, I don't know. You know, it does work on me, but I don't care. It tastes like grass. And the people who don't drink tea, that's what they're telling me. It tastes like grass. And if you take the regular matcha that comes from like a store or cafe or something, it does taste like a lot like grass. It's like a lower quality, like a medium size quality. It's called cafe grade. You have like a culinary grade that you add to cakes, and that tastes like a broom anyways. But because you add it into cakes, it gives it a nice color and a little bit of flavor, right? It's cheapest matcha. And you have cafe grade that actually tastes a little bit better, and it's a little bit more expensive. And then you have ceremonial grade, which is just like bare matcha. You drink it, and the flavor has to stand on its own. Of course, that one is the most expensive one. It's the best one, and it's the most, you know, it's richest in antioxidants. It's the most expensive to produce and to grow, and it's just a pain in the ass. However, it's the best for you. and has the best effect, right? And the flavor of that matcha is very gentle because it's like, it's exquisite product. So it doesn't taste like grass to me. But I'm a tea drinker, right? Some people are like, well, no, it's too grassy. I'm sorry. So I was like, okay, I have to make it like, how should I say, more acceptable to general populations who are never used to drinking tea. Actually, a lot of Americans, especially moms, they drink coffee, right? So they use some other kind of more strong flavor, or some like a toasty, like, because coffee is like a toasty, nutty flavor, and tea is more like a grassy flavor, right? So I have to, and plus people drink a lot of sugary drinks, right? So they use to something much, much sweeter. So I'm like, okay, I'll like camouflage it. I'll make it like a treat, not like a medicine. Because people will tell me like, I'll drink it because I like you and I know it's good for me, I'll do it for you. I'll drink it as a medicine because it's so like beneficial for me. Now that you explained to me, I do want this health benefit. And I was like, I don't want you to drink it while holding your nose, right? That's not going to be a viable product commercially. So I have to make it taste good, right? Good for you. Like for me, it's already good, but good for you. So we started adding honey to it, and it did taste like better, obviously. And honey makes everything taste better. So we added honey. And then I started adding flavors. And one of the, there's a cafe in Las Vegas. It's called Finders and Makers. It's like a hip, like young place. It's really cool. And their number one drink is lavender latte. So it's a regular latte, and they just add lavender syrup to it. It tastes like heaven. It's so nice. And I was thinking like, and that's my favorite drink too. And I was thinking like, it would be nice to have this kind of a little bit unusual and elevated flavor to our product. Why does it have to be just the regular, whatever you see normally, vanilla, caramel, chocolate, strawberry, right? Or those are the like standard drink flavors. And what if it's something, it's a treat. It's for women, right? It should be beautiful to look at. It should taste really good, should taste interesting. And because we've been traveling a few years past, I was thinking how Europeans, when they make their dessert, especially French, they go for this like really deep flavors. And they're not rich flavors. They're very light. They're very light and they're floral. And they're amazing. They're multi-layered. And I was thinking like it'd be really cool to have a product that's kind of in that category, right? So I actually went out and looked for chefs. And I was talking to people, and I was thinking, like, how do we make it? I want to have like a lavender and maybe something else to it, and then maybe like rose would be another one, because one of the countries we lived in was Turkey, and they add rose like to everything, and it tastes amazing. Just like the whole like Middle East, I think they add rose to everything. And now it's the rose craze, and I noticed that, here in the American market, rose is kind of making its headway because it's so beautiful and it's fun to market, right? So, and it doesn't taste like flour. It's just kind of like something really delicate, something, right? Like tea. It tastes like kind of like tea. So we kind of like all like snowballed from there. Things just started shaping up, and it's hard to function within make your headway into the food industry or beverage industry because it's so established, and there's certain ways that people do things, and they kind of try to steer you that way. For example, they're saying like, oh, if it's considered a supplement, it's not considered a drink. They're saying if it's supplement, first of all, you're not regulated. So really, you can put anything. Just be like everybody else. It's just throw together a little bit of vitamins, like coarse dosage of vitamin B, and it will give that effect. It's like Red Bull, and just add like sugar to it and add these synthetic preservatives. And if you do that, it's so much cheaper because it's like literally cost you pennies, and just put it in a pretty bottle, and just like you don't have to go fancy with packaging or anything, because it just literally just like add all these chemicals. It will last for like 200 years. And I said, wait, I don't want it to last for 200 years, right? I'm supposed to be drinking it. I'm not gonna do that. If I wanted that, I would just drink whatever is already out there, right? So that kind of defeats the whole purpose of me doing this. So
well,
when kind of
I want to point out something too, that if anyone is not catching this, another one of my favorite qualities about you is you are a woman of integrity. Like, you're not trying to copy what someone else is doing. You're trying to create something that you saw a need for, that you didn't want to diminish anyone's health. You didn't want to do something that would create havoc in other mommies' lives, to have health issues come from, because I do think when you like do strong caffeine shots, or do some of the other preservative things and lots of sugar and all of that, it does take away from your health. And I love the fact that you didn't compromise. Like, when you made this product, you did not compromise. And I just don't want anyone to miss that part of the fact that you were diligent and tenacious in what you were creating, and you didn't compromise in the ingredients, and you didn't compromise in the product.
Yes, it's very important to us, because I think as a consumer, and I'm more of a consumer than entrepreneur, right? And even in my service company, I built it as a consumer. What's fair to me as a consumer? What's good for me as a consumer? And that's, and I noticed that market really responds well to that. Obviously, if you give them what they really need, not what you can get away with, you will have a much stronger kind of return. So I feel like with any other business, frankly, and especially with food and beverage and supplements, it's even more important, because I didn't do a lot of studies on everything that's, for example, on the shelves currently of Whole Foods or Sprouts or something like that, natural food stores. But I did talk to some food scientists, and the reports back were kind of a little bit disconcerting. So I wanted to, and the information is very confusing, because sometimes it looks good. It has, for example, 5 Hour Energy now came up with a green tea flavor or something. It says green tea, but you can say it's 5 Hour Energy. If you read the ingredients, you're like, oh my God. But it has a green tea leaf on the bottle, and it looks pretty now, right? So it's like, can you just tell to yourself, it sort of looks good for me, I'm just going to drink it. And people do trust you, and they just drink it. Especially if they think like you're a big company, of course you're responsible. You're not going to screw people. And so they just trust you. And I feel like if somebody's going to trust me with their body, with their health, and they're going to say, I'm going to put it in my body because you said it was okay, right? How can I then stuff it with like carcinogenic chemicals or something that I have no idea what it's going to do to them, right? So I feel like that would be kind of criminal to me. It's not like I'm so perfect and moral, but I think most average consumers feel similarly, right? So that's my normal assumption is whatever I buy off the shelf should not cause me cancer or like liver failure down the road, some kind of issues, or me losing all my hair and going crazy. It just should not happen. I place my trust on that based on that assumption. And so conversely, when I'm creating a product, that's what I want to create too.
Well, and I just want to say, I think that is, like, I don't want to keep interrupting you, but I want to make sure everybody listening is like getting some of the points you're saying that are so major. You didn't compromise, and you could have taken the route of pretending, I will say, because marketing is such a impactful and influential industry that they can market something that they don't say it's healthy, but they'll use some symbol like a green tea leaf to make you think it is without stopping to do the research or read the label. And your packaging is beautiful, but I tell you, I love the fact that you use your influence well. You protect me as you are protecting you. You are taking care of me as, your MommyGo buyer, because I definitely love it. And I think that deserves a minute of like recognition publicly, that I'm grateful that you didn't compromise, because that is the way of the marketing industry, unfortunately. And I'm not saying everybody in the marketing industry doesn't have integrity. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's easier. It's easier to make someone think they're getting something healthy than actually producing something healthy.
Of course. And I think it all comes back to just what is the goal of whoever is doing it. So, for example, my partner Dina and we flew out to Clearwater to bottle our initial run, and we sat down with the owner of the lab, of the production facility. And he's very experienced. He's been doing it for decades, literally, right? He's from Sweden originally. He's just like really the nicest guy. He's telling us, so what's your exit strategy? Because my other client, they're just bought out for $5 billion or $8 billion. They've only been in business for 5 years. So they're doing this like antioxidant drink, and, is that what you guys want to do? And so we kind of looked at each other like, no, because, that what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen to that antioxidant drink once it's bought out by Coca-Cola or Pepsi or something? What do you think is going to happen? It's like the goal of some of the mega corporations is not to make the world a better place. It's to make money, which is fine. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to make money too. But you have to be clear on what is your goal. And so our goal is actually for the whole thing is, first of all, to meet the need that's like not being met. And second is to actually make the world a better place. We're collaborating with the Healthy Sunrise Foundation, and I realized that within the course of this past election cycle, that money actually means power. You can influence things that are unfair, that you don't like, that all it takes is like hiring lawyers or hiring, or you can just throw money at a lot of problems, at some health crisis and things like that, and just make it all really good, right? So that's my theory. So I'm testing it now. So, but where do you take the amount of money that you can produce, like kind of a scalable? Where do you get that influence, like Bill Gates does, right? It's just like a mass effect. You can't get it through 9-to-5 job. You can't get it from like running a successful cleaning company, right? Your effect would be quite limited. And my partner, she is a pediatric nurse. So her background and her whole like life story is saving like kids and women on the ground, right, in Africa, like without air conditioning. That's what she does. She saves them one at a time, and she'll like train other people to do it. So it's kind of like a little bit scalable, but still, like you can't clone her and just like do this. So she needs funding, she needs help, right? So I was thinking the best way to do it is to kind of merge like a nonprofit cause and for-profit cause. And just keep it running, like, hey, if this whole like thing becomes really successful and keeps like saving the world, it's cool. Like, and we make money along the way, it's cool too. But money is not the primary goal, right? So I can make money in a million other easier and more pleasant ways than this, right? But if for example, that product was already on the shelf, we wouldn't even be here today. I would just buy that product and drink it, right? But it's not there. So it kind of like everything kind of came together at the same time. My thoughts about helping the world and my thoughts about helping myself. So they kind of all came together, and that's what happened.
To me, that's like the most beautiful kind of collaboration, though, is all the different things that you're solving, all the different things that you're changing the world. And, people listening might say, how could you be changing the world? But you really are. And I want to fast forward a little bit because I was honored to be able to participate in your very first, production, I guess, your very first.
Yes.
And so I want to show everybody, I love this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is what I got in the mail. And I got this beautiful package, and I have to show that because of participating. But I want to show everybody the good stuff. Like, I am so grateful for you being appreciative and you changing the world and you doing all that. But I also want to show like the amazing thing that you came up with an idea. You thought about something you needed. And then I have this little box trying to fix it where you can see it. I have this beautiful little box as a thank you that has like the product in it. And I'm excited because I can't go, well, I don't want to go. I want to do what I'm doing. So I'm excited that because of getting this, actually helped someone in Africa. Is it in Africa that
They're all over. Actually, they're in India and in Africa and here in the U.S. as well.
Wow. And so I want to just show everybody, because I think it's amazing what you've done. These are the actual, I don't know if the light's getting them well, but these are the actual little things that you're going to be able to find soon in the stores. Right now you have to go to the website to get them. But yes, how amazing is it that you produced something that you needed? I just want to recap some of this. You had an idea because you couldn't find what you needed. You wanted to be there for your kids. You didn't want them to have leftovers, but you didn't want to give up being, a businesswoman either. So transparency is you weren't able to do everything in the way you were doing it. You didn't want to work out. You needed something healthy. And so you come up with this idea. You do the testing yourself as far as I know the story as to how you found your food scientist, and that's one of my favorite stories. I actually talk about it because you are so a go-getter, and if you don't know the answer, you ask if anyone else does. I mean, you're just not afraid to ask. And then you create this product, you create this recipe basically. You make sure it's palatable for everyone who's not used to drinking matcha tea. You use the best ingredients. You don't compromise when you're, being influenced to compromise. And it's so much easier if you just do it, the cheater way. You didn't do that. You hang tough when it comes to making sure it's really the product you want to do. Then you're talking about someone buying you out that's a big company and you're not interested because you want to make sure that the product is not compromised. And to me, like, you and I are friends. You and I are able to chat or, be together, whatever it is. But I can tell you on a large worldwide scale how amazing it is to know that not only do you care that I'm not putting anything unhealthy in, you care about everybody that's going to drink this. Like, of course, mom. That's great. But how powerful is that? And I want to say that too. There's 3 flavors right now, and they are really, really good. I got several boxes, and I messaged Elena this morning, and I said, we're going to have to hurry up and do this interview because I'm going to be out of stuff. I've got to order some more. And I didn't want to do this without being able to show, because in this little tiny bottle, and this is not a paid advertisement. This is just a princess opinion, but this is like 20 calories. So it doesn't mess with anything that you're trying to do by eating right, or it's not high calorie. It's got, just really healthy stuff in it. And I'll tell you the effect that it's had on me is I am a coffee drinker. Like, I love coffee, but I only drink a cup in the morning, and I think it's a lot of pleasure instead of like I need the caffeine. It's just something I really like the taste of it. But these in the afternoon especially keep me focused. Like, it has helped me so much not to have this big burst of energy that I'm going to run through like a crazy woman and do all these things. But it has really focused my mind and helped me to not be sleepy, like you were saying. I think that's a really good point too. But there's no there's not this big, crazy fireball of energy that you can't deal with, and then now you can't go to sleep because you had it in the afternoon. I think that that's a really good point about it, is that, mommies don't need to go to the extent of having some energy drink and then they can't go to sleep when the babies go to sleep.
If you drink it at 9 o'clock at night, you might have difficulty falling asleep. But anything like about 4 hours out, you'll be fine.
I just love it. And I appreciate so much the fact that you've created a really sexy business, and you actually have a very sexy life also, because this is not your first sexy business. You are a serial entrepreneur, and you have done a lot of amazing things. You're actually in Berlin right now, as it's the morning in the US, but your evening, you said, right?
Yes, it's 5:50 p.m. here in Germany. Yes.
And you're headed to Athens and to Nice, and you're just traveling all over, because when someone's sitting out there, that our audience follows us for business kind of things, because we are here to help create sexy businesses for sexy lives, not just so you can be in business, but so you can actually have a sexy life and you can be there for your family. And you should be the poster child for what we talk about, because you use collaboration, you use integrity, you do all of the things that we preach about. We talk about this all the time, and here you are in living proof that you can do something from an idea all the way to a product. And how sexy is that? And you're still traveling and doing what you want to with your family.
Yes, I'm trying to have it all.
But I think you're doing a pretty good job of it.
Thank you. You're my twin, sir.
I'm proud of my twin. I'm proud that we are princess twins, because I think that you're amazing, and I think that you give everyone hope that if they have an idea of something that's not in the marketplace, or it's not being done in a certain way in the marketplace, that you can bring integrity and in that, that congruency. Because here's the thing about you, again, I love, is you're congruent in what you're talking about. You're transparent and you're honest about, you want it all. You wanted to have it all. And how many moms out there are struggling just to get the laundry put away? They can't imagine how they can even do a business and be a mom. And yet you're a great example of that is possible. That sorry, that's Rufus.
Somebody's agreeing with us.
But you are a great example for everyone watching, that you don't have to be, a multi-bazillionaire. You don't have to do crazy things to be able to. Sorry, Rufus is going to join us.
I know, it's so cute.
But you have demonstrated that out loud and allowed people to look into your life. And I want to publicly say how grateful I am that you're in my life, and how grateful I am for you creating this product and just being an amazing human being.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And this is my biggest hope, is that I feel like a lot of moms and non-moms, we're actually on the same page. A lot of women, we want to have it all. And whether or not we think we can get it, it's a different question, right? But we do want to, and we deserve it. I honestly feel like we deserve to have it all, to have our own personal fulfillment, and also have a happy family life and career. I don't feel like we have to be forced to choose, right?
Yes.
And if this product or any other product or services can help us get there, we just need a little bit of help, because look at all the stuff that we have to do, right? We have to do it all. And I think we just need help, just a little bit of boost, whether it's that mental focus and being a little bit awake. So think about it. If all that stands between you being able to build your business or career is just not being sleepy for a few more hours a day, it's not a big ask.
Yes.
My biggest hope is that women will get that extra help, and then they'll go on to do amazing things, or like small things that they always wanted to do, and they'll make them happier and more fulfilled.
Yes.
That's my hope, anyways. That makes me, when people say like, oh, you know, I had MommyGo, and I packed everything, and I cleaned, and I did my laundry, and I cleaned the whole house, and, you know, I still feel energized, you know, like, that makes me happy, because this woman was thinking that she needs to do all that stuff, but she just was too exhausted. And all of a sudden, she has enough endurance and focus to be able to do these tasks that are important to me. And for some people, it'll be not so important that, okay, it's a domestic work, whatever, but we know our home is very important. It's good for, you know, to live in a healthy and clean and beautiful environment. We all want that. We all deserve that. I think if we're not able to do this because we're too tired, we'll be ashamed to admit it, and we'll be sad and depressed about it, right? You'll be kind of knowing, especially me, like, it will always be in the back of my head that I need to do something that's not being done in my house. It's always going to be that. So if I only have that little bit of help and I can kind of perk up and do it, oh my God, that makes me feel like I'm a superhero, and I'm in control of my life, right? I'm in control of my life. I'm a control freak. So I want to be able to manage things that are going on. I don't want to be a passenger, kind of like scared and just barely hanging out. I want to be controlling what's happening to me, what's happening to my family, what's happening to my home. And so that definitely, this product definitely helps, you know. So at least I'm hoping it will.
Oh my goodness. I just, you know, we haven't even really touched on the other side of it either, too. We're running out of time, so we're going to have to do it probably really quickly. But I also want to touch on the fact that you are doing the gift back. You are actually connected, like you said, collaborating with a nonprofit.
Yes.
Can you quickly tell what happens with that, too? Because not only is it a great product, not only is it healthy, not only are you changing mamas and business women and a lot of people's lives, now add on top of that icing that you're also impacting the world in another way.
Yes, because we're supporting Healthy Sunrise Foundation. Their mission, what they do is it's ran by a nurse and a doctor, pediatric medical professionals. They figured out that if the mother has very poor health and prenatal care, then the baby will struggle. You know, some babies will die, and the ones who make it, they have a lot of health issues, right? So if you take a pregnant woman and give her the basic health care and, you know, medical testing and, you know, medications, and kind of like guide her through the process of pregnancy and the birth, that baby will be born healthy. So that's why it's called Healthy Sunrise, right? It's the sunrise of their life that's like gifted to them. And I feel like every baby in the world deserves it, whether they're in Africa, whether they're in Las Vegas, whether they're in Texas. Absolutely, it's like a human right to be born healthy, right? If there is a chance for them to do that. And so that's their mission, and they've been doing this for years. And so what MommyGo does, and the way our collaboration works, is with every purchase, we actually contribute a portion of the proceeds to buy what's called Mommy Pack and Baby Pack. So they have like brochures with the important information. It supports the testing for like prenatal testing, like the blood work that's critically needed, as you know. And basic supplies just to give birth to the healthy. Because some people in certain parts of the world, they don't have sterile like blades. You know, they even give birth at home and they just use like a kitchen knife, you know. So rubbing alcohol, you know, whatever is that the communities need, that's being provided, along with training and testing. And they're just amazing. I'm blown away by the stuff that they do. So my hope is that MommyGo is a really small company right now, but my hope is it's going to grow into a mighty big tree, right? And it'll really, really be able to kind of amplify the impact through Healthy Sunrise Foundation. Like I actually joined the board and I believe in what they do. I've seen the impact. They take somebody who's devastated because, you know, young woman lost a baby during birth because nobody wanted to touch her. She had the HIV. The doctors and nurses on the ground didn't want to touch her. So the baby died. And when this team came in, they took care of her and her second child was born perfectly healthy. Right. So it's like they literally make a world of difference. And I think for me as a mother, I can't explain how important that is to me, that this kind of stuff does not happen. I don't care who the woman is. I don't care where she lives. They help plenty of women here in the U.S. And that's how we actually met. They're helping one of my friends. I feel like whether you are Republican or Democrat, you know, American, African, whatever you are, you know, Russian, as a woman, you deserve a chance to have a normal pregnancy and safe birth, as safe as possible. And the baby should be born as healthy as possible. That's like a universal, you know, truth. So hopefully we'll make a difference. I'm 40 years old, you know, someday when I'm dead, you know, I don't know how many years from now or days, you know, whatever. I'm hoping that I will make a difference through that collaboration. It'll make, you know, that's very important to me.
Oh my goodness. You are just amazing though, because you have set it up, like collaboration is so sexy anyway for business.
Yes.
And then you've set it up to change health and change the health of babies, and you've set it up in all these different ways, and everyone who buys MommyGo gets to participate in that world changing. I mean, I think that's another really sexy part of this equation, is that when I go to the website and I buy, you know, something that's going to impact me, and I need, you know, some energy shots and I need some, you know, pickups sometimes, that it's not just impacting me, it's impacting everyone around me. Like it's impacting so many different layers of people, and all I'm doing is trying to find a product. So I mean, I think you've set it up in such a way that is just, you're amazing. I just sound like a broken record.
You're also helping Japanese farmers, because the matcha, the main ingredient that we buy it at an expensive full like price by sustainable farmers. So we have a choice, of course, of buying it somewhere where it's mass produced for like the big corporations, and they kind of fertilize the land too much, and they kind of like turn it over fast. So the seed that comes out not nutritious, but you make the most money, and the farmers get really little money. So we don't go that route, of course. You know, we go the other route where it's grown in the mountains by like local communities, and it's expensive. Let me tell you, like that's the most expensive part of the whole thing. However, you're helping to revive that land, and you're helping to support those farmers. So you're not, you know how we buy the goods like a shirt or electronics, and that's produced somewhere by slaves, you know, in mass quantities, and those communities are not even compensated. You know, they're just basically taken advantage of. We don't do that. So when you buy a product, you don't participate in that. You participate in actually uplifting someone and supporting someone. They use solar panels. Their production is organic, so it's, you know, it's great. It's all around. You're helping that community there. You're helping the women around the world. And I think what's beautiful to me, because it's so mommy-centric, it's a mommy product. Mothers and women supporting mothers, right?
Yeah.
And supporting land. That's what all we do anyways, right? So it just makes sense. Like who else, what other segment of population takes care of everybody?
Yes.
You know, it's the mom. So and I'm the mom, and then you're a mom. So it's like, that's what we do. And that's not something that is unusual or right? That's what we do. We if something is wrong, we fix it. If somebody fell, you know, we lift them up, and that's That's normal. I don't feel special for doing that. Like,
I think that's another like very sweet thing about you, though, is the fact that you are impacting the entire world, but yet you're humble about it's just what we do. So I think you're adorable. I think that you are like such a powerhouse and such a force in this world for good, and you have used your influence to do well. I am proud of you, and I just want to say that I am.
Thank you.
I am so blessed by you, and
it means a lot.
You are amazing. So,
thank you so much.
If you want to order product, which I hope everyone does, tell them the website, and then I'll put it in the comments when we get done with the interview.
Sure, it's mommygo.co. So mommygo.co. So our hope is to actually have our online store as a main distribution point, because we would rather spend money on the ingredients, on the high quality ingredients, than on distributors and all the middlemen that goes into traditional distribution channels. And of course, we do want to make it accessible to you. So eventually, we'll be in all the major retailers. That's our long-term goal. But still, our main distribution channel should be just directly to consumers. And if we can lower our prices because we're at scale, we will. But still, it's nice to get a card with our personal, like, handwritten notes, right? And it's nice to have that connection. So I think our own store allows us to do that. And so please welcome at mommygo.co.
I love it. I'll put it in the comments when we get off. But thank you so much, Elena. And I'm honored you took the time today out of your, busy traveling and did this interview so that we could show that it is possible. It is possible to have it all.
Well, let's check back in 1 year and see, or even 6 months to see where we are. It's a baby company, but it's growing.
Well, I'm going to put it on the calendar that 1 year from today, we're going to do another interview.
Okay, sounds great. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team, and we are definitely here to help you create sexy businesses for sexy lives, like my beautiful friend Elena Ledoux. Please go and order MommyGo and support all of these amazing things by just one product. So thank you, guys. See you later.